Karoline Leavitt isn't just bad at her job, she makes a mockery of the idea of truth itself, and it's because right now she's in a state of all-out panic. Everywhere her and her boss look, the L's keep piling up for Donald Trump, whether it be his term collapsing over a government shutdown he can't negotiate his way out of, or a tanking economy that's his fault. And of course, we're not going to forget the Epstein files. Leavitt is panicked, and because she can't spin, she just has to run away, which is what we saw today after getting caught in so many lies, including one about Epstein and, of course, the shutdown that we're going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into the moment that made Karoline Leavitt just run from the press, I want to start with one of the worst lies she told today about the layoffs that are coming from Trump.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions. On the layoff of federal workers, potentially, the president said yesterday that Democrats will be to blame if federal workers lose their jobs. Historically, though, in past shutdowns, workers have been furloughed, but they have not been laid off en masse. So wouldn't that be the president's call to lay people off?
As I've said repeatedly, Caitlin, this conversation about layoffs would not be happening right now if the Democrats did not vote to shut the government down. And as I also said last briefing as well, we are $37 trillion in debt, and the government is not receiving any cash. So someone has to look at the balance sheet and be good stewards of the American taxpayer.
The man has posted several images, AI videos, and messages about how excited he is to fire people. He is calling himself and Russ Vought Grim Reapers, and he's like spinning it in a positive way, and you expect us to believe that Democrats are responsible for the mass firings that we are going to see? I come back to this quote every opportunity that I can because I want us to remember that we knew that Project 2025 was coming, that you and I warned people, but everyone didn't want to listen. Russ Vought said, the man who wrote the damn thing, he wanted to traumatize federal workers. So stop the bullshit that Donald Trump can blame Democrats and say that it's our fault. It is just not true. And another thing that they try to say is our fault, ooh, mean political rhetoric. Oh, it's causing problems across the country. Well, Leavitt's pushing it right here for an incredibly damaging story.
Over the weekend, sorry, my second question. A federal judge over the weekend that the president had appointed to the bench in his first term in office basically argued that he could not deploy other states' National Guards to Portland, basically said that it was untethered, his argument, to what is actually happening on the ground. Which local officials in Portland have said that the National Guard is needed there?
With all due respect to that judge, I think her opinion is untethered in reality and in the law. The president is using his authority as Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Code 12406, which clearly states that the president has the right to call up the National Guard in cases where he deems it's appropriate. And
we just saw a judge's house go up in literal flames because of the rhetoric that Donald Trump spews about judges, saying that they're anti-American, that they're a threat to your way of life, that they're stopping him from carrying out a mission of governing that will ultimately save America. Just complete bullshit. And Karoline Leavitt plays into that a day after this arson attack on a judge who ruled against Donald Trump and their husband, who is a Democrat as well. And one second, time out. You're gonna tell me that it's Democrats who are responsible for inflaming tensions, raising the state? Like, our rhetoric is the problem? Are you serious? Especially as Leavitt is pushing lies like this about Portland.
But no local officials that you can point to that have said we need the National Guard. Because I spoke to the police chief of Portland last week. He said that the president's claims just don't match up with what's happening on the ground.
I would encourage you as a reporter to go on the ground and to take a look at it for yourself, because there's been many members of the press, not press in this room, but independent journalists, some of whom we'll be inviting to the White House very soon to share their stories, because they have been in the middle of these riots and they have witnessed the anarchy that is taking place night after night. It's on video. You should play it on your show. You have a great opportunity on prime time on CNN to show your audience. Yeah, but you're probably talking to partisan Democrat officials who are opposed to everything this president does. You should also ask the people who live in Portland. We've actually heard from many members of the community who have said that this is complete civil disobedience. It's a mess. It's been loud. It's been troubling for neighbors in the community who are just trying to live peacefully. And these people are not there to peacefully protest. They are there to cause mayhem and havoc.
Yeah, Caroline.
Literally the only images I see coming out of Portland are people at like farmers markets, like buying muffins, and it's like, this is the most dangerous city in the world. It has gotten to the point of incompetence that you see ICE like tear gassing police officers, pepper spraying people in like funny dinosaur Halloween costumes. These are sick individuals who you know that are being recruited based on histories of engaging with groups like the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers. Right now, you see Kristi Noem seeking out people with a violent past who want to go inflict pain on women, people of color, any minority in this country. That's what they want to do. That's what they're getting hired to do. It is a personal police force for Donald Trump, and you can't spin that any other way. And it's why, amongst other things, Karoline Leavitt wrapped up early today and just ran away.
Again, we shouldn't be having to do that. The Democrats have a chance to change course tonight. I believe the vote's taking place at 6:30, and we urge Democrat senators to vote to reopen the government and to do the right thing. Thanks, guys.
She would quite literally rather run away than do what is her job and have a conversation about this shutdown. Why? Because Republicans have shut down the government, and they shut it down over one thing: gutting your health care. Democrats made a simple request: cancel devastating cuts to Medicaid and extend Affordable Care Act tax credits so over 20 million Americans don't get slammed with higher premiums and out-of-pocket costs. That was it. Seems pretty simple, right? But no, Republicans have refused. Instead, they're demanding the largest Medicaid cuts in history, all just to pay for what? Tax breaks for billionaires. Of course they are. And they were willing to shut down the entire government to get their way. Now Republicans are holding the government hostage. What a surprise that is. They control every single branch of the government and keep trying to shift blame to Democrats. What is this crazy inferiority complex they have? Oh, we're always the victim. Oh, we're the victim. But Republicans, we know better. Americans know better. A new poll from the Wall Street Journal shows that the American people already blame Republicans for the shutdown by a 17-point margin. So stop with the victimhood, stop with the lies. We're not going to believe it, because even worse, Republicans are actively walking away from the American people completely. While House Democrats are actually working in Washington, what is Mike Johnson doing? He's canceling votes, he's going on vacation, whereas Trump, he's golfing. What a surprise. This is what we are getting out of our government right now. This is what we are getting out of the Republican-controlled government. And what is Donald Trump doing while he's golfing? Is he on the phone with Democrats? Of course not.
We heard you say that you want people to call their Democratic senators. Is the president calling Democratic senators himself? Can you say what he's doing today to resolve the shutdown?
Yep, I was just in the Oval Office. He was on the phone with Speaker Johnson. He's also spoken with the Senate Majority Leader, who are in touch with, of course, moderate Democrats and Democrats across the board, who we understand hopefully want to do the right thing by their constituents to reopen the government. So the president is being kept very well apprised of the ongoing shutdown on Capitol Hill. And of course, his position is very clear. There's nothing to negotiate, just reopen the government, and then we can talk about all the important issues facing our country.
So he hasn't called specific members of Congress?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And then on the Affordable Care Act.
Donald Trump won't even pick up the phone to try to end the shutdown. Do you really think he cares? Fuck no. Of course not. This was the point coming in. They wanted to traumatize federal workers. All they are after are big tax cuts for their billionaire buddies. That's all they're worried about. Got to help out those billionaires. And not just tax cuts for the billionaire buddies, but a little legal assistance, which of course Karoline Leavitt couldn't comment on when she was asked about the Epstein scandal.
I was going to you in the blue shirt and tie.
Oh, thank you,
Yes,
Caroline.
you're
John
welcome.
Marco, the Daily Mail. Today, the Supreme Court declined to hear Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal. Will Trump rule out granting her clemency? Is that something the White House is considering?
It's not something I've heard discussed, and we don't comment on clemency requests that may or may not have been made, but I'm certainly not tracking that one at this point in time.
Oh, we're not going to comment on clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell because all Donald Trump has said is, well, I can if I want to. Can if I want to. If I want to, I can. And of course Donald Trump would. He's trying to save his own ass. That is what Donald Trump is always after, protecting Donald Trump. And if that means getting Ghislaine Maxwell off, of course Donald Trump will do it. But while we see our premiums double, triple, people paying thousands and thousands more dollars for healthcare that doesn't even work in this country, richest nation in the world, by the way, all these fake flag-kissing patriots want to pretend that they love America. Invest in America then. Maybe the richest country in the world should have fucking free healthcare because this isn't a policy dispute, as Republicans would like to claim. This is a fucking human right that you don't have to die on the street in the wealthiest country in the world. Doesn't seem really outlandish to me. But Donald Trump is, he's working on it, I promise you, because listen to what Karoline Leavitt said.
And then on the Affordable Care Act, is he willing to give more, to share more on what he'd like to negotiate on the Affordable Care Act later? Is he willing to say specifically what he would like and when?
But look, the president is definitely committed to fixing and improving our healthcare system. You saw it again last week when he had one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world coming into the Oval Office and promising to lower drug prices by 200, 300, 100% in many cases for various types of drugs for American patients. That is a huge fix to a broken system that has been ripping off the American people for far too long. So the president's very committed to this. But right now, we need to reopen the federal government, and the president is remaining very firm in that position.
We're going to look into it. In about 2 weeks, we'll look into it. We're going to be checking it out, making sure everything is all good. Yeah, that's bullshit. And the bullshit just keeps coming because they're telling lies to try to distract you. And who are they targeting in those lies? Of course, the illegals. It never stops. The racism, the bigotry, the xenophobia, it never stops. But Elizabeth Warren, thankfully, was there to call it out.
So, Senator, Republicans say what you're really fighting for is taxpayer dollars for, as they put it, illegal aliens. I know that's not strictly true, but there is a provision.
Excuse me, not strictly true.
It's not true directly, but
flat-out lie. It is a flat-out lie.
The way that they frame it.
There is nothing in Medicare that permits one undocumented immigrant to get $1 of assistance.
Senator, if you let me finish the question.
Of course,
Senator,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, in the Democrat.
This is how hard we have to hit back. We got to call out the bullshit. We got to make it clear. We're gonna on this show every single day. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you want to support the show in another way, you can subscribe to my Substack right here or down below. Keep on fighting. We're gonna on this show. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, because it's good to be back. Sorry, I was gone. A little bit of a birthday weekend. I had some fun. I really enjoyed all y'all's messages of support. And we had a little bit of CNN hit on the birthday weekend. I appreciate all of y'all who watched. But until next time, I'll see you soon.